Farmers in flood-hit Tolaga Bay are considering legal action against forestry companies for the damage done to their stock and properties by runaway slash. They say the companies that left logs and slash in their forests to be washed away by floodwaters last week are not taking responsibility. It's been a week since flash flooding hit the area, and heavy rain last night caused more water and logging debris to be washed over roads and farms. Our reporter Anusha Bradley and videographer Rebecca Parsons-King have spent the day in Tolaga Bay.
It was a long, sleepless night for Mike and Bridget Parker, as heavy rain brought the threat of more flooding to their already sodden farm.
We had a very long night, not much sleep, had a huge amount of wind. We had another sort of 50 odd mils of rain last night, and yeah, the rivers come up seriously quickly once again, and we just here we go again, really, watching all the logs come down the river. And basically we found out that what's happened is we've had debris dams up 3 of the tributaries here that have actually built up hugely, let go like a 747 racing off the tarmac.
They're now facing damages of at least $600,000 after fences, paddocks and crops were damaged by last week's flood. The 3 major forestry companies invited affected farmers to a meeting last night.
This only happened because of Forestry's logs. And at the meeting last night, the heads of the whole 3 forestry companies involved, Olson's, Earnslaw and Hikarangi Forest Farm, said that they will only be paying out if their insurance can prove that they have been negligent in the forest. They have absolutely no social conscience whatsoever, and they have no intention of bringing forestry staff down here to help poor people like this lift up their fences, get logs off their property and get silt out of their homes. They are not going to come unless they can be proven to be negligent, and we think it is absolutely disgusting.
The public and media were not allowed into last night's meeting, and Mike Parker says farmers left feeling disillusioned.
They made no decisions, committed to absolutely nothing. They'd had a week to, they knew what they were in for, and we just went round and round in circles. It was basically a circus, really. We came out of there, we sort of had to say, well, okay guys, where to from now? We asked that question several times, and we said, okay, go away, talk to your owners that are overseas and wherever, and come back to us next week.
Up the road, landowners and ecologists Marie McKenty and Grant Dumbbell are planting their own forestry block. They believe the big logging companies are not following the rules, and the council is not policing them.
The logging here has been done, this is just the Wild West. This is just bulldozing debris aside. This isn't slash, this is logging debris that's just been bulldozed into heaps, into piles, into stream valleys, and just left in one hell of a mess. This is just get in and get out for the lowest cost, maximise profit. They can't increase revenue because the market will only pay. The only way they can make more money is reduce costs. So they screw the contractors, and then they try and reduce costs by getting away with minimal compliance. And this is the result of it. Ultimately, these roads lead back to council. We heard council say the other day that they're going to undertake an investigation on whether or not these forestry companies are undertaking their logging practices according to their consent conditions. I asked the council, why do they need an investigation? Because they are the statutory authority that is required to put those resource consents in place. They're also the statutory authority that is required to monitor those consents. Why do they need an investigation? They should already know this.
Their neighbour, Paroa Station, lost 300 sheep in last week's flood. Its manager Mike Atkins says they're still waiting on the go-ahead from PF Olson, who leases the land, before they can clean up.
We're just waiting for a decision from the Olson's Forestry, because I was told just to leave it, because a lot of the logs have come out of Olson's Forestry, which is Paro land, but they've got the lease of it. So we were told last week not to touch it. We can't leave it too long.
Meanwhile, back at the Parkers, their son Toby is not sure if there's much of a future farming here.
It's a bit scary, especially if you're, looking at going to the bank and wanting to borrow millions of dollars, and you've got a river that's coming through your house. Like, this hasn't happened for 30 years, and we haven't had. Well, last time it happened, there was 900 mils that fell in 3 days. We've only had a couple of hundred mils, and the water levels come even higher. So, to me, it's something else has made that happen, and if you can't guarantee that that's not going to happen, then it's pretty unsettling.
36 farms in the area have been affected by flooding over the past week. They want the logging companies to put up $100 million to clean up the mess and a halt to all logging activity while a government inquiry into the industry is carried out. In Tolaga Bay for Checkpoint, Anusha Bradley.